Hi, Fabio. Do you hear me?
Yes, hey Yuri.
We are currently alone. How is it
Yeah,
going?
good.
Good. Okay. Meeting is recorded, so I guess we need to wait a little bit and then.
Yeah, let's just wait for anyone that wants to join.
Oh, Roberta. Hi, Roberta.
Hello.
Hello.
Happy holidays.
Hey, yeah. Happy holidays. Oh, there's not many people. It's just
Oh,
us today.
We
and we
still
were
have.
also saying that we
Yes,
don't
yes.
have
You're.
much to discuss today.
All right. Let me see if John can
We
join.
also have a lot of people. With you.
Yeah, everyone was in holidays.
But let's wait a minute.
Yep.
By the way, do you see my desktop?
Yes.
Yeah. See the presentation. Yep.
Okay. I might have some difficulties with my internet connection, so tell me if something is wrong.
Okay.
All right.
One more minute and we will start.
Do you want to discuss any topic, Alberto?
I'm interested because I couldn't join a meeting earlier between John and Gonzalo about a problem in the iOS SDK. So I'm curious about how that went.
Okay.
Well, there is an issue. There is an
Oh,
issue. We could not
okay.
find it. We were trying to do it in
All
another
right.
way to see if the issue still happened, and it did happen, right? So
Hmm.
I'm
So
going to go
we're not
deeper.
crazy.
No, 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 no. The thing
Okay.
is, core data it's a beast of its own, and sometimes
Hmm.
these errors are difficult to discover because it's trading issues.
Right.
So yeah, and it's not happening to me, and there was no changes on
Wow.
on this part of the code. Yeah, so I'm going to try to reproduce it again. Like I already seen the code that John is doing, so I'm going to try to
Hmm.
replicate it on the sample app and try to do it.
And okay. And the other thing that I found curious, and I'm not sure if in Android is the same, on the TypeScript SDK, we usually just get the latest messages. Um, and on iOS, I was very surprised to see that it just gets every message every time, and like in the core loop of whatever handler uh, it has for the DITCOM messages. And I suppose like is that you know basically supposed to be the developer implementation of however you want to handle the messages, or are you guys thinking in trying to make it
So
similar to what TypeScript does?
they should all behave equally, right? I
Yeah.
know Kotlin works the same as Swift. The problem
Okay.
in here is I don't know if TS added a reading um, like a reading flag to. So it's important to say as well that the Pluto that TS uses normally,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
it was something that was made by Ravi,
Yeah.
right? Because we in the beginning said that Pluto for iOS and Kotlin would be more safer than Pluto for TS, right?
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
because they are inherently more safer, right? And Javi took on his hands to make a Pluto implementation, right? that people could
Mhm.
use. So maybe added this already, this flag. On the other SDKs, we didn't have this flag of saying like a message was read, right?
Right, right.
And processed.
Right. It's what the SDK is doing is just storing the messages in the storage engine, in Pluto or whatever, the implementation for the storage. But then as a user, you want to at least get a callback to process those. And I understand that you may, it may be like not the responsibility of the SDK to say, oh, this was processed, but it's very helpful to just get whatever the latest batch from polling from the mediator is, and then you take care of the rest. Just doing that, it will be super helpful for any developer, because going through all the messages all the time, it's just confusing, and especially for beginners. It's like, oh, I already did this, and then you see errors, and then it's very easy to make mistakes in that way.
So the first time you register to that stream, right? You get all the messages because the line how it works, right? It's a stream line, right? So if it's like this. The mediator updates the database, right? The database updates the stream, right? So it's a streamline concept, right? So the first time you register to the stream, you get all the messages, all the received messages, for example, that are on the database, right? And if then some others are added, right? You need to then it will be called one by one, right?
Oh, I see. Okay. All right.
This is how the streamline works, right?
Yeah, and that's why. Okay, that's why you get all the messages when we restart the demo, for example, or the code.
Exactly.
It's because just starting from scratch, it's telling you, hey, here's all I got, and then every new messages you get just the new ones.
Yes.
On the stream. Oh, I see. All right.
So it's not always sense. Right. It's not always sending you all the messages when there are changes. It sends you the first batch that is all the message that he got in memory. Then it starts like one by one.
Yeah. I see. Okay. I mean, that's not that bad. I guess we could add like a timestamp saying, oh, this is the last time. Can we just drop messages? I guess filter them by date, and then
you can.
Before this date, we just ignore them.
There's a created at on each message, so we can.
Okay.
I just wanted to understand the responsibility. If it's up to the implementer, that's fine. We'll build a pattern, and then other people can use that pattern. Just wanted to make sure that the responsibility is the implementer to add that logic, which it's fine. We'll figure that.
But Gonzalo said, like, now I understand why that happened for us. Every time because every time we tried it, we were restarting, and we started the stream from scratch. We get everything, and then we start getting new messages. And that's, that's fine. We just need to add a timestamp. Yeah. We just
no,
need
I
to
understand.
Add a timestamp.
It's only on startup that the problem is. It's not like every time that gets called. But
I thought it was every time it was called. That was my confusion.
No.
But now I understand how real it is. Okay.
Yeah, it's a stream coming back. The other thing,
all right.
Before we start, the other thing from this call, which is very helpful, is in the Discord, there's my questions about using goal and go cold. And just really quick, I was basically looking for a way to call the Cloud Agent API and pass some sort of nonce, some ID that only the client knows, and then I could get that back in a didcom message. And that way I could, like you said, that's one filtering approach I was thinking about, is like, hey, I'm getting all these messages that I don't really care about, but give me some sort of nonce back so I can only operate on that one. And Gonzalo said that I can use the thread ID for that. So I can pass the the THID, I can use that as sort of my nonce. So even though goal and goal code is not going to be there, now I can use the THID, and so I'll try that. That's the other thing we talked about. Okay, that's it.
Cool.
So,
All right.
can I just formally start the meeting and we can continue our conversation in Q&A, okay?
Yeah, sorry, Yuri. Was my,
Yeah,
I started.
we took over. Sorry.
We started by you.
It's okay. Yeah. So welcome everyone in the first meeting, community meeting that we have in 2025 year. I'm glad to see you all, guys, and thank you. So we have short updates for you because it's a holidays time and plenty of people are on PTO. You know that there is antitrust policy notice. If you haven't read it yet, please take your time and read it. And there is also code of conduct that we need to obey that can be read at Hyperledger code of conduct. And by the way, it looks like Hyperledger is changing the brand to Linux Foundation Decentralized Trust. So don't be afraid if you see new names in coming meetings and presentations. So Hyperledger will be sooner or later rebranded to Linux Foundation Decentralized Trust. Today's agenda is pretty short. It's updates and our plans for the coming months. Quick review of GitHub discussions. I'm not sure if we have anything to discuss here, and issues that were created over this few weeks, and then Q&A session when we can proceed to our conversation about different questions. So the updates are following. We are planning to make a platform release in January. We will run all tests and release everything with the bug fixes and current implementations that we done over the last months of 2024. And I want to announce that we need to plan another migration of the repositories from the Hyperledger organization to Hyperledger Identus. It's not our desire that we to perform under the Linux Foundation Decentralized Trust Organization. After this, we will plan and announce the new repositories, and main change is link and name of the Hyperledger org in the we will figure out repositories. And sorry for this, but that's
your voice is breaking. I don't know. I think Yuri's voice is breaking. I don't know.
Oh, probably it's a problem with my connection. I apologize for this. Probably next time I will ask Fabio to conduct the meeting. Okay. Sure. We will move from Hyperledger to Hyperledger Identus in January, February. Okay.
Okay.
Good. And
is that date already defined specifically, or it's just a process?
Not yet, but I think that we need to make a release, and after release we can end migration. Our internal housekeeping.
Okay, one question. I heard, well, back when we were on the Members Day, they were dropping Hyperledger in favor of LFTT. So it's like, if we're changing the organization, are we sure it's will be Hyperledger? Because I remember there was a thread somewhere where they asked to rename the project once again without Hyperledger to say LFTT, basically. which is like the new name of the whole thing. So I guess my 2 cents is let's double check it's still Hyperledger.
Yeah, that's a good question, because when I listen, it was they created the organization that is called Hyperledger Identus instead of just Hyperledger, that the organization that we have now. I'm talking about GitHub,
Right.
but that's a good question. Yeah, we should double check that, because there are other projects coming from the Linux Decentralized Foundation, and those ones
Yes.
doesn't have Hyperledger. So it's confusing why ones have Hyperledger and others not. So let's double check that.
We will double and triple check this, and we expect some mess.
We have
with
enough
packages.
migrations for a project
Mhm.
life.
Yeah, we don't want to change
announce
yet again.
release no.
Okay. Yep. That's all.
So, okay. Sorry, my internet connection. And we will announce the changes.
We cannot hear you. So sorry.
And Fabio, you can start to go through the EAT and discussion instead of me.
I think I had a look. I didn't check anything new in there. Maybe I should check again. Does anyone want? So, other than the discussion on Discord, is any other discussion that anyone wants to check in this meeting? I assume not. So the discussions on Discord, is there anything else more to discuss about that? Or should we open any issue to double check with Javi? What is the status of that that TypeScript auto-read message process?
Yeah, we
What
could
do you
go
guys
I
want to
think
do?
we can do this at the next meeting, guys. When Javi is back.
No, but I'm just asking if we should open some issue on the GitHub to discuss that in writing. Or is there any open point that we want to ask Javi about it specifically? Because Curtis probably also knows about it. I know that they were discussing about that functionality at some point before.
I think we can just create an issue under Identus and proceed with it as a regular issue.
Okay, Roberto, do you want to ask anything in
Yep.
specific still?
No, the only one that I have pending is the options timeout for Safari 18. And I have to get back to that because I understand that you couldn't reproduce on your
Oh,
end.
the one in the mediator? No, I was not able
Yeah.
to.
So I think maybe, so it could be something in the way the proxy to the mediator is not adding a flag or something or header.
It's
Maybe I'm
possible,
missing
yes.
something there, right? So my question would be, how are you proxying the mediator? I think you're using Nginx, and then some config. Is there any example of are you proxying the mediator, or do you connect in directly? Because in our case, I think we have to proxy the mediator.
I had some
through
examples with
Apache.
Nginx.
Okay.
I think I needed to add some things because of the WebSocket, but your problem is not even in the WebSocket. So all the
No,
flags
not
should
even.
be directly.
Yeah.
But
And
if
it's
you have
weird
an
because
example, I can double check that. But if you don't proxy the mediator, it should work, right?
yeah.
The
Okay.
mediator itself, I think it
And
already has those flags.
yeah, and other than that, I can peek the traffic with chars or something and kind of paste the whole thing and see if that gets any light bulbs somewhere, any ideas of what could be wrong.
If you have any example how to replicate the problem, or if you are using Nginx, if you give me your example, I can try myself.
Yeah, we can. Our mediator is out there, so it's open. So we can have like a mini test case or run on at the demo even on Safari 18, and that will fail. And even in simulators or the phone or the operating system, Mac, basically. So we'll check that out.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Anything else from anyone?
I'll just say that I know I've been active on Discord recently. Sort of the reason is that Roberto and I we're writing the book, and we're at the stage now where we're building the example apps. And so I've been building a more involved like iOS example app. And so that's why it's good because I'm deep into actually building now. So that's where a lot of my questions are coming from, which you guys have been super helpful and either explaining or, working to uncover and go deeper. So anyway, expect more questions and issues as I find them. I'm sure a lot of them are just me using it wrong, user error. So thanks for your patience as I get through that stuff.
Yeah, thank you. I'll try to have an extra eye on Discord and being the first members of the team for help. Thank you. I think we already have everything discussed. Yuri?
Yep. Thank you, Fabio. Thank you for attending the meeting, guys. As I told, it's a short meeting for the beginning of the year. And let's switch our discussion to GitHub issues and Discord. I believe that we can figure out how to improve reading messages from mediator and how to properly configure the infrastructure with proxy. Okay, just create the tickets and we will figure out this together.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
And
guys.
have a productive month. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.